anyone else see, were there instructions for this group meeting? I totally didn't even look.
I
There was
think,
like a format.
I don't think there were specific instructions rather than we each just present our accountability projects.
Good. Then I won't feel bad that I'm missing something. All right. So let's do some sharing of presentations. Who wants to go first?
I'll do it.
Awesome. Hey, Jerry.
Okay, so I think I just go over here and screen share and I click on my presentation, right?
Hey, one second. Is anybody else having a hard time hearing Sherry? Is it just me?
I am.
Okay.
Can you hear better now?
It's still a little digital.
That exactly. I was like, the gift of tongues applies to Google Hangouts, but I'm having a really hard time deciphering. Like, it sounds like Star Wars sort of talk.
Okay. How I can come back? I'll come back in. So you guys get started. And I'll refresh and I'll see what's better.
Okay.
It was better when your camera was off too, if that helps.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Your sound was fine when the camera was off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and she looks like she's frozen. Maybe she just
does look
again.
like she's frozen. Whoops.
That's so weird because that's just been happening like this last 2 weeks. But it's been crazy for her.
Yeah. I just love technology. It's so fun.
It's so amazing. You can do so many things.
I know. It's great. All right. Well, I can do, like I said, I can do my project if you want. Like I said, it's not a success story, so you might want to start on a better note. I don't know.
That's good. Mine's pretty bad too.
All right. Well, I'll just share what I've got.
Awesome. Is the screen sharing working for, I can't tell if I need to give control over to other people or not.
No, I can, do you see my project? I can do it. Okay. All right. So here is my accountability project. And I decided to put this quote in first because I found it this week and I thought, you know, this gives me some hope. Courage is required to make an initial thrust towards one's coveted goal. But even greater courage is called for when one stumbles and must make a second effort to achieve. Oh, I like that. Isn't that great?
Yeah. That's
okay.
Good.
So here were my goals, just really basic. I had daily goals and weekly goals and monthly goals. The hardest ones for me to keep for sure was those daily ones. Just the first 3. Did I report on my accountability project? Like, did I turn on the computer? Did I log in? Did I get to the spreadsheet and do all that? I don't love technology. I don't love being on my computer a ton, and that one was just really hard for me, just getting in and being on there. A lot of these goals were actually, other than those first 3, they were things I was already doing pretty well, honestly. Since April, I had taken a much lighter course load for that April to July semester, whatever they call that. Feels like summer because Arizona, it's like boiling hot in April, so it's hard to call it spring. But anyways, those are my goals. Here's my success rates. I didn't know how to put my whole project into a PowerPoint, so I just counted up the yeses and nos and my question marks in Excel and just boiled down the really cold, ugly truth to some numbers here. Can you guys still see that okay?
I can only see the first slide.
Yeah, I can only see the title slide.
It's not progressing. Oh, shoot. Okay, thank you for, I should have checked. Is that better now? Can you see that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the quote from President Monson. Sorry about that. I didn't know that slideshow wouldn't work in Google Hangout. And here's my goals that I just talked about: daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals. Can you still see that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's my very ugly numbers. A lot more no and a lot more question mark. The question marks I started including when I went days and days without checking in, and then I couldn't remember I knew that the answer wasn't no to all of them, you know, that I was eating healthy on some days. I was reading my scriptures. I knew the answers were no to, you know, did I check my accountability project? Obviously, the answer was no, but I didn't know. So I ended up including a lot of question marks, which really wasn't supposed to be part of the project, but felt like the only way to handle where I was in the project. So something went wrong. It was not the way the project was supposed to go. So I decided to try to figure out, okay, well, what went wrong? Like, I was trying to analyze the whole project and see where I went. And the first step, can you still see this?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so step one, my first step towards not doing so well, I really had no commitment to enforcing consequences. I was happy to begin the project, like I said, for about 6 months before the project began. I was doing really well at making some big changes in my life. I had taken less classes, and I was focusing a lot more on my family. We had just a really traumatic event happen in April that I don't really want to talk about, but life-changing for sure. And I was just doing a lot of things different to try to recover from that and support my family and support myself. And so I was doing really good. And a big part of that success that I was having was that, especially when changing my diet, like how I was eating, was I just accepted that there were going to be days that I failed and that was okay. I didn't ever harp on the failures. I just literally let them go the very instant that they happened. That was my goal in the changes that I was making previous to this project. So I really had no commitment to enforcing consequences. Like for myself, I didn't see how that would work. So the first time I had no on my spreadsheet, it was just simple forgetting. I forgot to check in one day. And I was like, oh no, it wasn't an excused no. Like I had time, but I just literally, it didn't occur to me. I didn't think of it. And so I had to put that very first no. And I always think it's that first one, I think for me was like pivotal. Once I had a no, then it was like the slippery slope had begun. The next part of my failure here was mounting workload and personal stress. And I'm not trying to be like an excuse. It's just the facts of my life and how things are right now is I operate an online business where I sell handmade banners, and a lot of them are holiday banners. So I do about 75% of my sales for the whole year between October and December. And since I had taken a shorter course load over the summer or the spring semester, I decided to take 3 classes this semester, which is more than I've ever done. 2 is always my max, and this semester I thought, oh, I'm going to take 3. Well, that didn't go so well. Step 4, I think, and this is a big one for me, was discouragement. I found it really, really discouraging to see the goal tracker, to open up that spreadsheet, to see all the no's, to see all the question marks, and to feel like there was really no way to start over. There was no way to undo the damage that had been done. And unfortunately, I have a bad habit of adding old shame to current failures. It kind of brought up a lot of like, just, you know, I've never been consistent. I'm not good at this. It just became really discouraging, the project. So finally, capitulation. I just decided to stop worrying about the accountability project. And I must have really misread the instructions somewhere. Like I had no idea until last week that I was doing this presentation. That may have been a little bit more motivating. I can't even say for sure though, honestly. It started going so badly, I probably would have just let it go anyways. But yeah, I just decided that this was something I could cut. And I did. I just stopped worrying about it. But here is my positive takeaway for the whole thing, and I'll just read it. At the conclusion of this project, I am reminded of my eternal gratitude for my Savior. I'm so grateful for the chance to have my sins both forgiven and forgotten. I frequently fall short of my goals. His love and mercy give me hope that I can try again with a clean slate. Having said that, I do believe in personal accountability, and I'm going to try again to use the goal tracking, but I'm going to allow for a reset button when I need one. And that's my project.
Nicely done.
It's pretty neat.
I don't know why you said that wasn't very good, because I thought that was great.
Oh, thanks. The presentation's okay. The actual project of God, it was not great. Oh, wow. That's it.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Good.
Thank you. All right. Sherry's back. Did you want to do yours now, Sherry?
I can. Can you hear me okay?
Perfectly.
Okay, so I thought maybe I just won't turn my camera on. We're having some big issues with our internet today. And my son, who's doing a master's program right now, is in the middle of trying to take tests. And our internet keeps like going in and out, which it's never done before, but it just happens to be doing that today. So,
That's
okay, let me see if I can get over here. Okay, can you guys see it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, all right, let's see if I can do this. Okay. So I've been doing a lot of reading with goal setting and whatever before we started this, and a lot of it is that you have to do like affirmations, right? I am this, I am that. And so I decided to kind of make mine be this, like affirmations that I then work on. And so these are just some things that I've been wanting to work on. I have a problem sometimes with confidence, that I'm not always really confident in myself. So, and this one that I have, I am McKinley Bubbly. We met a really awesome young lady who was just the most bubbly, fun little gal I've ever met in my life. And nothing, it seemed like nothing scared her. And so I just wanted to be more like McKinley. So those are some of my things. But this is my big goal that I've set for this year. So I'm going to turn 50 in August, and I thought, because I'm a runner, I thought I wanted to do 50 miles on my birthday, kind of like a mini ultra marathon. I don't know, could we call it an ultra marathon sprint? You know, just like a smaller thing. And to do that, it really is, you have to have a lot of little goals to be able to make that one big goal. So that's kind of what I did. So I called it my elephant in parts. And again, I said, read my scriptures, and then say those affirmations every day, drink lots of water. I wanted to improve relationships, just be more in contact, be more present for my family members, and to meditate. And then, of course, with my running and eating healthy. So then my consequence and rewards, I just had fun things that I would do. So if I did, so I wanted to do a 30-day juice fast. And after I did that, I obviously would need some new clothing, particularly underwear. So hence that. And then different mile markers for if I ran these. And then I have a little small sewing business on the side. So I made my consequence be that I would have to buy like similar items for my husband out of my sewing money, which right now is being saved up for a new sewing machine. And that would just be a bummer if I had to do that for my husband instead, if he got new shoes instead of me. So that was my consequence. So I also had lots of bumps and things, and I didn't meet all of my goals. Like I did okay on my read scriptures. I did okay on my, you know, all my daily things, But my 30-day fast, I made it 4 days. That was awesome. And then my daughter-in-law, she made this gorgeous cake and she brought it over on day 5. And it was a baby reveal cake. So I didn't really feel like I could be like, oh, I can't eat that cake, because she'd worked so hard on it, you know? And so I ate the cake, and I was never just stressed with going through school. You know, just like you, Janelle, I had everything just, it was just hard. And I injured myself in running. And so then my running got set way back. And I'm just getting back to that. So here's how I was going to improve, because I do think that goal setting is important. And I came across, it's just like you, I need to not, because I'll beat myself up forever about it as well. But I really loved this quote that I found this semester while we were studying. So there's a difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in doing something, you do it only when it's convenient. When you're committed to something, you accept no excuses, only results. So for me, I have a lot of interests that I feel like I really didn't commit. I was more committed to doing my schoolwork with like what you've said, Janelle, is I had so much schoolwork that I had, and it just was so stressful to do the 3 classes, plus my family, plus, you know, callings, plus running a home, you know, it just adds up. And so I like you, my accountability goals went kind of by the wayside. And I just didn't want to beat myself up over it. But, and the next time I do it, I need an actual voice on the other end of the line, not a text and not an email. I need to talk to someone who would say, hey, how's that going? And actually ask me questions, and I could respond, because then I think I would feel more like that would help me out better. So anyway, that's it for me.
Good job.
So I would call it an epic failure. So, but I did read my scriptures every day. That was the one I never let slide. So,
that's awesome.
so anyway.
Very cool. I like seeing how everyone's putting their presentation together a little bit differently, and how they're addressing the topics that we had to. I love it. I think it's great. All right, who wants to go next?
So I would go, but I'm having some issues with my PowerPoint. I made the PowerPoint in my Windows computer, and now I'm in my Mac, and it seems like it's not wanting to open. And I'm at the school right now, and I left my computer at home. I mean, I have my rough draft that I did on my Word file. I can kind of talk about it. Yeah, unfortunately, I wish I could. I can email it to you guys later tonight. Sorry, it's just been kind of hectic because we're moving to Virginia this weekend, and we need to move out of the house and get everything packing. And then I'm driving, and my wife is flying with the kids tomorrow, and it's just kind of crazy.
Oh, man.
So let me see if I can get that pulled up.
You could just talk us through. Just tell us your goals and how you felt about them. You know, don't worry about the fancy foofy stuff.
Okay, sorry. Again, I'll email you guys the PowerPoint so you guys can see it or whatever. I have it on my other computer, but okay. So for the project, pretty much just in sum, what I wanted to become. I felt like I kind of felt in the same boat where I was getting carried away with the things of the world. I was, you know, working full time, and I was going to school full time as well, and working 40 hours a week and taking 14 credits. And then with my new kid that I just had this past summer, it just became pretty stressful, and I just kind of let it go away. And so this semester, I decided to cut my hours and focus more on what's more important. So I wanted to be more spiritual and, you know, read my scriptures all the time and go to the temple often. Some of my goals that I had were, I also wanted to eat healthier as well. So I ended up taking a health class here in campus, which part of your grade, it focuses on you exercising 4 times a week. So it was pretty helpful to set that goal for this project as well. Let's see. And then also, I felt like I wasn't spending too much time with my wife either. You know, I was just go to work, get home, and then start doing homework, and then go back to bed, wake up, go to work, go to school, come back. And I just felt like I was just, you know, on my own little thing and just ignoring her too much. And so I decided to create one of my goals as to spend time with her and the kids and stuff. And some of the consequences that I had was, so we don't have a dishwasher in the rental home that we're at right now. Made me really appreciate it. So we hand wash all of our dishes, and we don't really like to go out and eat, so we cook inside all the time. And it really sucked to be able to hand wash a bunch of dishes all the time. So part of my consequence was, if I don't follow through on my daily goals, then I will wash the dishes. And since my wife doesn't want to do that, my wife wanted to be involved in this project as much as possible. So she would make sure that I would do everything, all the goals. Well, I guess in a way, because if I miss something, then I would have to wash the dishes for the rest of the week. So I did have about 25 no's. So I did a lot of washing. It was pretty horrible. And I also live in Idaho Falls, and that's about 30 minutes around there from Rexburg. So every day I do have to drive to school. So I would play my gospel library scriptures on the car all the time. So I never missed the scriptures whenever I would have to do that. So that was pretty good. I would say, honestly, on the excuses on the nose, there really isn't, because I felt like I had a lot more time this semester than others to be able to do more stuff. I would forget. You know, I had a lot of stuff going on with like my exams and other projects from other classes, and then also finding my internship. That was pretty stressful too, because I needed to get one this semester. And so there was a couple of no's that I got that I just, you know, I spaced out and I forgot to go over those and take care of that. So my wife was pretty happy about that, since I had to take care of the dishes at that point. So what I really wanted to accomplish, I think that was part 5, was I just wanted to become more spiritual. I'd say just kind of feel the promptings of the Spirit more often than other times. And going to the temple, I set a goal to go to the temple twice a month. I know that may not be a lot, but that's just the only time that I could get with work and my wife working and stuff. So that really helped out a lot. And I don't know, it just kind of helped me out in situations where I just didn't know how I was going to make it. You know, like I didn't know if I was going to get an internship, and if I was going to graduate, if I was going to pass a class, or if I was going to pass an exam. And I think reading the scriptures daily and going to the temple all the time really helped out with just trusting in Heavenly Father that He's going to take care of me, you know, if I do the things that I need to do. And it was just really helpful. And I got a wonderful calling at the church that unfortunately I have to leave because I'm moving, but I've always wanted to teach the young kids, and I did get a calling, you know, out of nowhere in the middle of the semester to be able to do that. So I was a Sunday school teacher, and I loved it. It was great. So those experiences really helped me out a lot. And I think it kind of applied to what I wanted to accomplish. I think out of everything, you know, besides being held accountable and stuff, I just wanted to become a more spiritual person, you know, and to be able to trust more in Heavenly Father in some things. You know, sometimes I would lack faith in certain things. Like, I don't know if this is going to go good. You know, I felt like no matter how much I prayed, nothing was ever going to happen. And, you know, just proved me wrong. I did everything, and everything fell into place this semester. So it really went great for me on that scenario. And then, I mean, I think it just changed me completely, and I think my wife saw that too as well. One of the goals was to be able to go out on a date with her at least once every 2 weeks and stuff. You know, have someone take care of the kids, and then I can just spend time alone with her. And sometimes I felt like maybe that wasn't necessary because we'll just spend time together with the kids at the house or whatever. But now it makes a huge difference to be able to set that time alone with your spouse. So I think at the end it just really helped me out a lot. And one of the people that was partnering up with me for the accountability project, she will always text me at the end of each week, and she would tell me she would tell, because she knows that I had to wash dishes, and part of my goals was also, you know, helping my wife in the middle of the night and waking up and changing diapers and doing all those bottles. And she's like, you better make sure you're doing that, because I got your wife's number, because apparently they used to be friends in school when my wife used to go to Provo and BYU. She's like, so I know who your wife is, so I'll text her every day and making sure that you're doing the stuff and you're not lying. So, it was pretty cool. But at the end, I really like this project a lot. I think it really benefited me a lot. And then on the scale ranking, I gave myself a 9. I would have given a 10 if I did everything correctly, but you know, I missed a couple of notes and stuff. But I think I get a 9 because I feel like I got a lot out of it. It helped me out a lot at the beginning of the semester. I thought this is just going to be another big project that whatever, I'm going to get it over with, and that'll be it. But it became really meaningful to me. Every single goal that I had, it became personal, and it helped me out, you know, not just me individually, but my wife and my kids as well. So it was great. And that's pretty much it. I think I put something else in the PowerPoint, like a quote from Elder Holland. There's a speech that he gave, I think it's like in 2007, where he just says, you know, like sometimes blessings come, you know, soon, sometimes they come late, and sometimes they don't come until heaven. But we just have to trust Heavenly Father, and things will go the right way. And I think that's how it happened with all of this. You know, just having more faith in God, and it helped me out a lot. So that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you. I think that's a great sum up.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good.
Awesome. All right. Who's next?
I can go next.
Oh,
Okay.
Go ahead.
You can go
No, go ahead.
Okay. Let me see how to. Do I just do a screen share up there on the corner?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, great. Sorry. Okay. All right. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know I didn't realize we had to present either until last week, this project, but my main goals on who I wanted to become in the goals that I set for myself was my main goal in life is become overall a strong and supportive wife and mother. Physically, I wanted to be stronger so I could keep up with my kids and have a fun family. And I also wanted to include some workout goals to maintain a healthy weight as I'm pregnant right now. So doing that is sometimes hard for me with my last one. So those were who I wanted to become. My first goal was that I wanted to do at least 10 minutes of scripture study daily. And I really like this goal because I've never been one to sit down on a daily basis to do scripture studies. So it really benefited me, and I really learned a lot about myself and kind of dedicated myself especially to that goal to grow spiritually. And then my second goal was to work out at least for 3 days a week for 30 minutes. This goal was a little bit harder. as I was pregnant. And so I had some medical issues during the semester. So I had to take some time off from any kind of workouts. And I was on partial bed rest for a little bit of it. So I wasn't able to fully meet that goal. I'm actually able to get back into it now. So I'm excited. Let's see. My third goal was to take my prenatal vitamins daily, which I have a really, really hard time making sure to take my vitamins daily. So I wanted to make sure I inserted that in this accountability project, and I have been doing it. So I successfully did that one. And then my first goal was, I know this sounds like a little kid's goal, but it was to eat 1 serving of vegetables at least 4 days a week. So I have a hard time with that, especially with being pregnant. All I want is carbs. So I wanted to set that goal for myself. And I forgot a couple of times, or I was just too sick to do it. Let's see. And my last goal was, the teacher suggested that I inserted a financial goal. So I tried to do just $10 a week into a savings account, just to help us be more stable, and kind of, it was like our emergency funds. So that was really neat to start, and we're actually looking at upping that. So that was a good goal to set for ourselves. Let's see, address any no's. I definitely have some no's in this project. My workout goal was I filled that with a lot of no's, and I'll show my vegetable goals. I didn't hit that all the time, and that was simply just because I just simply forgot about them. And then, let's see. So my consequences for myself, the one that I had set out was watching my sister's 5 kids. That was a big motivator for me to meet my goals, because when I did have my nose for the vegetables, I watched my sister's 5 kids for her, to give her some relief and to do some service for her. So what did I accomplish first? What I want to accomplish. So I thought I could do the whole semester being with no no's, but I was human, and that just wasn't possible. And so there were definitely some no's in this project. And some were for health reasons, and some were because, like before, I just simply missed them. So I wanted to be the person who followed through on their promises and my word. Working on this project made me feel like I accomplished that, but I can see I still have some things to work on. But the main goal that I was most excited about was the daily scripture study one that I want to continue for myself and for my family. We're going to make it a family goal now. So that was exciting for us. And then what would I do differently? I would like to set some more goals for myself. Also wanted to do more monthly goals or weekly goals for myself to keep myself on track in the future. And I learned a lot about accountability this semester. Just trying to hold yourself personally accountable is sometimes hard, because I come up with a lot of excuses of why I shouldn't have to do a goal this day. But having the consequences really helped me through that, and to be able to hold myself more accountable. But that was basically the gist of my project. I really liked it. I really liked the accountability project. And yeah. Let's see here.
It's awesome.
Great job. Great job.
Now I can't get back to my screen. Trying to find myself. There we go.
Awesome. All right, Justin, you're still muted. Did you want to go next? I can try and go next.
Yes, I can go next if that's all right. I would rather not end on a negative note. Okay. All right. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my accountability project, if I am being completely honest, I was very annoyed at the beginning of the semester when I read through this project. Um, Maybe I'm old-fashioned or closed-minded, but I thought that this was a little more personal, and I guess I was expecting to receive a grade on if we actually completed it or not, rather than a self-assessment. And so it made me a little bit frustrated. I was thinking, school is school and personal goals are personal goals. And I just had a hard time being okay with them mixing and getting a grade on it. But once I understood what it really was, that kind of helped me realize that, that's okay. And so I did my accountability project, but I had very, very simple goals. When I was reading everybody else's goals, I thought, man, a lot of those are really good and not necessarily grand, like they're these super complex ideas, but I felt like mine were a little bit simple. But we can get to it. So who did I want to become? I want to become a better husband, father, and disciple of Jesus Christ. I want to become more effective in just about every way because I do tend to be forgetful. And I forget little things like reading my scriptures every day or even other simple tasks that are more agenda type items. And I want to pay more attention to details. I don't know if this is just my interests or what certain details, like if I really like cars and planes specifically. So if you ask me details about them, I could probably rattle off a whole bunch of useless information. But details specifically with people, really listening to people, understanding, what needs there are, whether that's with my wife, I guess can't really listen to him, but we have a 5-month-old, soon to be 6-month-old, and trying to understand his needs more. And then I wanted to be able to utilize all of the tools that are around me, friends, family, being able to lean on others, be able to understand, how I can improve. And I wanted to pay more attention to my weaknesses and address them rather than ignoring them. I wanted to actually try and improve. And I think that was really what I went into my project thinking. So what were my goals? Really simple. I wanted to wake up by 7:30 in the morning. I know that might be late for some of you, but I worked very late. I didn't work past midnight, but pretty close. Almost every night I worked. This semester, probably my average was 65 hours a week or so. And I am full-time online at BYU, Idaho. And then when we started the semester, we had a 2-month-old, I guess almost 3-month-old. He was born in June. So and plus we also own our own business in addition to my day job that I had at the beginning and for most of the semester. So I wanted to wake up by 7:30. Most of the days I think I got up that early, more so because of our baby more than myself, if I'm being honest. And then I wanted to tell my wife I loved her every day, as simple as that sounds. I just wanted to make sure, even though I was gone a lot, I was focusing a lot on other things. And so I wanted to at least have something that I was accountable to with her every day. Now, my weekly goals, I wanted to take my wife on a date every week. And that could be as simple as going and she likes, I don't know, I think some of you are from Arizona, but Circle K has 79-cent or 89-cent drinks, sodas. And so she likes those. So even if it was just going and getting something like that, and there were weeks where she planned them, it wasn't just me. And I would say maybe even more, actually, it was her that planned them than I was, or suggested it. I wanted to spend 45 minutes planning out my week. Actually, let's see. I'll show you this. So off to the left here, can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I found really helpful when I switched to an online student. Every week, every Sunday night, sometimes Monday morning, I would sit down and write down every class that I'm in, and then all of the homework on the due dates and what they are. This is a really light week. Normally it was 2 or 3 times this, as most of you probably know. And so it really helped to just go through and then just use the strikeout feature when I cross something off. So then I could look and see, this is how much I have left. And then when my wife is on the computer, if she wants to know what, if she's going to see me when I get home from work, or if I'm going to be up till 1 or 2 doing homework, she could look and say, okay, these are all of the projects or assignments that he has due. And so it took about 45 minutes to an hour every Sunday night. And initially, this was actually my wife's suggestion to do this. Initially, I was a little bit against it because I thought an hour was a waste of time, 45 minutes was a waste of time, but it actually really, really helped. And so I would very much suggest that. I wanted to spend 1 hour working on a new business idea, whether that was something for our current business, a way we wanted to expand, or something we wanted to offer, or even just an entirely new business altogether, just so I could have a book of ideas. And that was actually my worst goal. Got a little bit comfortable where we're at now, where I wasn't really being creative like I enjoy. And then I wanted to attend the temple monthly. We used to go once a week because they're in Arizona. We're 10 minutes from the temple, one temple, and there's 5 temples within an hour and a half or 2 hours from where we live. And so it should be easier to go, but with a new baby, I could probably think of a million excuses. I should have been going more, but I only went to the temple once. I actually work in the Mesa temple, and I'm an employee, and I am a janitor there, just an on-call janitor. So I do go to the temple, but it's not for the reasons, it's not for the spiritual aspect. It is a job. So I didn't count that towards going to the temple. I didn't feel like that was appropriate to do. So those are my goals. A lot of them were pretty simple, but it was what I needed. So how did I do? Waking up by 7:30, I missed. Now I had to do all of this actually. I'll tell you this now. I had to do it retrospectively because I maybe checked my accountability project spreadsheet maybe 2 or 3 times total during the semester. I was not good at doing that. And so I had to do this retrospectively, but I could think most days I was up by 7:30. I know, went back and looked at the calendar and thought, okay, I know this day I didn't. And so I don't know if it's exactly 13 times, but somewhere around there I missed it that many times. I don't think I ever missed my second goal, to tell my wife I love her. Weekly, we didn't miss the date nights, or at least something like a date. Spending 45 minutes planning out my week that I didn't miss because I would fail if I did not do that. And spending an hour working on a new business idea, I never did it. And then attend the temple, I only did it once for, as a patron rather than an employee. So what did I accomplish and not accomplish? I didn't feel like I really accomplished much during the course of the project because not a whole lot had changed. Yes, I did hit some of my goals, but I don't feel like I've really become who I wanted to become. At least that's how I felt when I wrote this earlier this morning. But as I've been thinking, one thing that actually did change is I did quit my full-time job because it was just too demanding. It was not a career path for me, and it wasn't something that really was conducive to a family environment. It was very much a gypsy lifestyle. I didn't go to the same place every day. I managed a food truck. I don't know if I said that at the beginning of the semester, but it was a food truck. It was a very busy food truck, and I was always off at events, lunch events in the mornings and afternoons, prepping food before that. after that, and then we would have most of the time have evening events as well. And so it was always going all over town. You know, never really more than 45 minutes away from home. Maybe I think one time we went up about an hour away, and that was it. But just wasn't good. So I wanted to align priorities more. And after talking with my wife, we felt like it was the right thing to do was to leave that. And I actually start another job here on Monday with a company that could be a career. And it's actually work from home as well with a software company. So I think that would be, it really helped me align my priorities. So I'm home more, really. The work from home thing was just kind of an added bonus, but otherwise, definitely worth being home in the evenings and having weekends off, being able to have family home evening instead of being off working somewhere. So when I originally wrote this, and as you're reading this, I didn't feel like I accomplished much. I do think that looking at it at a more broad perspective now, I do actually feel like I did accomplish something. So I am grateful for what I have been able to learn. What did I learn about accountability? I learned that you need to have it in order to improve and to work. That's self-accountability. That's also accountability with others. You need it in order to improve, in my opinion. And that is my slideshow. I hope I didn't bore you too much or end on a negative note.
No, I think that was good. You had a nice takeaway of it didn't feel like you were doing so great, but then you were able to, I don't know, come back to it and realize that you actually did do what you wanted to do. You were getting there.
Cool. By the way, Krispy Kreme today has gingerbread donuts.
Might need to try that out.
It's only today, right? Tuesday the 12th?
Yep.
Yeah.
As far as I understand it. And, you know, I know most of you had eating healthy as a goal or something along those lines. So I hesitate in bringing that up. But
Yeah, but the semester's over, so.
Oh, that's funny. All right, I'm going to try and share my screen. I feel like some people are really good at getting theirs to not do the double and triple feedback, but I'm not there yet. So here we go. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So I made a Prezi presentation, which is a little different than the PowerPoint. But that's the way it is. All right, so we've got the goal. And if we look at the goal, then we can see what I want it to be. I want to be, I like how, Sherry, you did this, how you made them affirmations. I'm going to do that next time. So I want to be the kind of person that is an example of living with grace and humility, who is reliable and honest, and who is passionate about becoming a better person while leaning on the Lord for strength and support. I want to serve others continually. I want to trust others. I want to be well educated and enthusiastic about life. I want to be a supportive and encouraging mother who interacts with my kids unplugged, so less computer time or less phone time. I want to be physically fit and healthy and encourage others to do the same. So then I kind of had this path to get to the goal. My daily goals were to read scriptures for 15 minutes and write in a journal for 15 minutes and then follow up with my accountability partners. The scriptures and journaling were really helpful just in processing life. Over the course of this semester, I had opportunities to talk with people and get some feedback about what I could do to streamline life, as I had some big changes, and the scriptures and the journaling really, really helped me to stay focused on the good things. So that was nice. And then I had some weekly goals to connect with my children for at least an hour once a week. It doesn't sound like much, but it turns out that if you only have your kids for 3 days out of the week, and you are busy running them to piano lessons and violin lessons, and they're at school for most of the day, finding an hour is really hard. So that one was kind of a struggle. I was able to spend time with them. And it wasn't maybe the quality that I was hoping for or that they wanted, but I was able to spend time with them, which was very nice. To visiting teachees at least once in a month. So I got really good at like end of the month emails to my visiting teachees because I can handle. And then in the course of this semester, I have moved to a new ward and don't have visiting teachees yet. So that one was kind of an easy off, I guess. I tried to give myself really hard consequences. I have a really hard time with panhandling. I know that in my area, there's a drug syndicate and they use panhandlers to get money for heroin. So that is a huge, like, I don't want to give money to that. That's a big deal to me. But so that was one of my consequences. Or I could do 50 push-ups in one sitting, and that would be my other, like, less hard for me consequences. And then I was able to get my tracking thing in here, but you can't see it very well. There were a couple of days that are in red where I just didn't do it. And then the rest of it looks really nice because I have some really supportive friends that, as a caveat that I had written into my plan, I could get permission to have an excused no if things were too hard. And I used it. I used it a lot. I don't think I abused it, but I used it a lot. So we come to the next step, the efforts and results. I think that I put in about a 9 effort. There was definitely some weeks where I was really good at doing my accountability projects. There were some weeks where I was more like at a 7. There was not any time this semester where the goals that I had set for myself were not constantly at the forefront of my mind. Even when things were really crazy and I was jumping from house to house and didn't have like a place to do homework, I didn't have a place to just be me, I had my journal, and it made such a difference. Or I had the scriptures, or I could listen to them as I was carpooling back and forth. So the goals really helped keep me centered this semester. So I feel like I put in a pretty good effort. I did miss some goals, and I followed through on the consequences most of the time. And I say that because it turns out that I cannot do 50 push-ups in one sitting. I thought I was that cool, and I'm not. So there were a couple of days where I was doing makeup push-ups for the day before, which in my plan, that's not how it was going to work out. But I didn't mess up enough that I had to pay a panhandler. So I didn't fund the drug syndicate where I live, and I'm very proud of that. So looking forward, what did I want to accomplish versus what did I actually accomplish? And it's supposed to scroll in, but it's not. So I wanted to do all the things that were on my list, and then because I'm an overachiever, I wanted to exercise more. And I didn't give myself a goal for that. I knew that life was going to be crazy, and that I probably wouldn't have the time. But I really wanted to be able to say, I've done however good on this project, and I was able to exercise, and I didn't. Which is, I don't know. I kept my goals simple enough for me that I knew that I could do them for the most part. So anything that seemed like it would be a stretch, like exercising X amount per week or per month, I just kept it off the table so I wouldn't be disappointed in myself. And I learned that I need an accountability partner that I can talk to. So we did a lot of like texting or calling, or even just, I would look at their spreadsheet. We would share back and forth spreadsheets. And I felt like I would email or send messages to people if I saw that they hadn't input things, but nobody came back and did that to me. And so I had a bunch of accountability partners outside of school. I had family members and friends, and it just kind of petered off as the semester went longer. So by the end of the semester, I was still doing it, but it was not with the same like vigor as the beginning of the semester. So if I had an accountability partner that was as motivated as I was to follow up, that would be really, really helpful. Let's see. And I think that's it. There we go. My presentation's done.
Whether to recognize it or not. Or I'm so far off that there's no square root.
That was weird.
Yeah, who's what? I'm like, whose voice is that?
Not your project. Your project was awesome. Sorry.
Oh,
You did a great job. I like the Prezi. That's interesting. I've never seen a project like that.
it's a really cool online program that is free if you're a student, and I've had to use it for other classes, and it's really great.
Okay,
Neat.
so okay, that would actually tell me. Okay, so I missed it.
So excellent job, everyone. It's been great to get to know all of you this semester. I really appreciate it. It's been much less painful having to do group projects or group meetings because you guys were all so fun to meet with. So I really appreciate it.
Completely agree.
Me too. Me too. So, all right. Well, I actually have to take off because I have really fun graduation activities to attend to.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So good luck, everybody, with that.
Thanks.
Yeah, good luck to you guys.
Yeah, give up to everyone.
Future plans. Enjoy that road trip, Leo.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun.
Nice. Good luck. All right, guys.
All
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Yes,
Thank
Merry
Yeah, happy
Christmas.
holidays to everyone.
Bye.
Bye.